Well, here I am at the local High Falls State Park. I've come to check out. They had a $300,000 grant, and they built a ramp in an overlook on the other side of the dam, which I've been there and documented that in a previous video. But I'm here. This side of the dam was closed for 4 to 6 weeks, and we're gonna go down there and see what changes were made on that trail. I can see now part of the change on this side. They just opened it up last week, and they put this rail in here, but I'm gonna go on up the little hill and come back down, because I think over here is where they built the new stairs down from the bottom of the falls. But we'll start and go up the hill here, and it's only a mile trail. All right, Metro on the Move just called me right while I was at the trailhead. had to stop the camera, but anyway, I'm heading up the hill. It's a little short 1 mile hike, and at the end you'll see what that $300,000 got them as far as a new stairs. But I did have some excellent and good news for me and my wife. My son joined the Navy. Gee, I can't believe it. About, I guess, 13, 14 years ago, when he had a couple of years of college, decided that wasn't for him. So he joined the Navy, and I know one of his goals was to make Chief Petty Officer. Now, last week he notified us that he did pass the bar, or the exam they give you. Now, that changes him from a sailor to Chief Petty Officer, where the email we got from his commander, it's quite a big deal in the Navy to make Chief Petty Officer, because they wear a different uniform, or can wear a different uniform, a khaki. And of course, in the letter my wife was reading, and it says his berthing, his eating accommodation. She said, "What is berthing?" That's the Navy equivalent to his quarters, sleeping quarters, like he's on the George Washington aircraft carrier right now. I think it's docked in Japan for repairs or refueling or something. But his quarters on the ship will be different from the general population of the ship. His eating area in the chow halls would have a designated location for Chief Petty Officers. You know, it kind of separates them from the, I guess, the run-of-the-mill sailor. But anyway, it was great news, because he was wanting it and would work one of his goals, and he worked until he got it. But he's going into 7 weeks of basic training again, similar, I guess, officer training, because he says when he comes out of there, he'll walk different, talk different. but my son already reached that stage in life, being his mama is Korean, so he's tasted a little bit of discrimination in high school and some of the teasing, so he knows how to handle all of that. Now, that's enough of the good news. Can't be any prouder than that. Heading up this little hill, and I think the next thing will be that Indian marker tree. I won't spend a lot of time there, but I do want to mention it again, and then I'll continue on until we get to see what that $300,000 got them. Well, here we are at the Indian marker tree. Now, my theory, no one knows how they actually did it, but it had to be done from a sapling, whereas they laid it down until the limbs started growing vertically. And of course, what they do then is, and you can kind of see this nub where they did maybe sawed it off here. And also, I know on the White Candle Trail, on Pine Mountain Trail, there's one similar to this, but it's got they didn't come back and saw off. See, you can see up here these holes where somebody had to come saw them off, and then just left the one main stem, and that's how I think it happened. Also back here on the back, you can see where they may have trimmed off some stuff. But that one on the White Candle Trail looks very similar to this, except it's got 3 or 4 branches that also went up. And whoever worked on the tree, they didn't come back, whatever happened to them, they didn't come back and saw off those and leave it like this. But that's so much. Now, what it points to, I don't know. I know I live here in the area, so I know if it points that way, that's towards, this is High Falls State Park, and this will point towards Indian Springs State Park, which is about 8 miles from here. And that's where they have the artesian well that runs 24 hours a day, that a lot of people drive many miles to come fill up their 5-gallon jugs of water. So if that could be what it was marking, the way towards Indian Springs. Couldn't help but notice the size of this tree with a little elf house there. Where forest fairies must live in there. Didn't think I was going to leave my camera, did you? I think this is one of the observation decks. It's new. This wasn't here last year, so this is part of the $300,000 grant. Let's go up there and take a look and see what the view is all about. Well, we can't zoom with a GoPro, but over on the other side, up there, last year they completed that overlook. It's quite nice, but they're doing a pretty good job. I don't have to go to Amicalola Falls to climb stairs. They did a pretty good job. I tried to point out the overlook on the other side of the river. They built it last year. I think they did a pretty good job, because people were always trying to go out on the rocks and get a shot. But now they've got it all fixed for them. But here's some people coming down some of the stairs. Well, here's the last few steps to get back up to the trailhead. Well, they did a good job. It's a family-oriented hike. It's only 1 mile. This will conclude this week's video.